Hello adventurers, and welcome back to my channel. Are you planning on visiting Glacier National Park but not sure exactly what all that is going to be in store for you? Well, if that's the case, this video is for you. Today I'm going to be sharing some of my tips for navigating around Glacier National Park. Tip number 1, get a park pass. Park passes are $80 a year and can get you into all of the national parks for 1 calendar year. Typically, the average park is between $25 and $35 for entry, but this gets you not only yourself, but 3 other adults in a single vehicle, and this way you can go to as many parks as you would like throughout the year. Tip number 2, arrive early. By arriving early, you avoid lines. Otherwise, lines can be pretty intense at Glacier National Park, especially on days that people are starting to come into the park to recreate. Today I sat in traffic for about 30 minutes just because I got here a little bit later in the day. So definitely arrive early. Look at all this parking here at Apgar, but throughout the day, various portions of the parking lot are a bit more crowded, especially earlier. So be patient and come to the park with a sense of discovery and wonder, not just for the activities at hand, but also for everything in the parking lot. Let's face it, anytime you come to a national park, it can be a little bit congested. They have permits for the going to the Sun Road for that particular reason. However, the parking lots also can fill up because a lot of people use the visitor centers as kind of like a hub, because there are in fact some hacks here that are ready for you to just uncover and find. But we'll get to that in another tip. So just be patient. My next tip to you guys is to visit the visitor centers. Now, it can be a little overwhelming to visit the visitor centers because there are lots of people here and traffic can get kind of crazy. So when you're seeing people come out from the visitor center, just kind of follow them back to their spot and you'll be able to get a spot easier. But inside the visitor centers, you can get maps, you can ask rangers questions, you can find out about some of the park itself and learn a lot of really interesting things that'll help you to explore as you go. The visitor center should be one of the first places you stop when you come into the park. While you're at the visitor center, that leads us to our next tip: free public Wi-Fi. Service here is not great no matter who the service provider is, so coming to the visitor centers, you can access all the information you need to download offline maps and other things. Also, if you need information for in-park, 1610 is the radio station. So if you happen to be driving, then that's a good way for you to get road conditions and updates of closures. Next tip, make sure you take the shuttle. If you cannot get a permit for going to the Sun Road, there's a free shuttle that runs, and it's first come, first serve, but it takes you to all the different stops, and along the way you can see something pretty epic. Now, if you want to avoid the crowds, get here super early. Start getting here at like 6 a.m. They have one express shuttle that runs all the way up to Logan's Pass early in the morning. It starts out at 7, but it fills up as early as 6 o'clock in the morning. The next tip that I have for you guys in park is learn about the animals and learn how to keep your safe distance from the animals. Now, along the way, there are several signs that tell you about how far you should be in relation from a moose or a bear or a bighorn sheep, but you can also find this information at the visitor center. In addition, you need to know how to take care of yourself if you are in the park. For example, they usually mark if bears frequent an area and if you should be carrying bear spray into those areas. Now, they do have some bear spray available in the park itself or outside in the communities of Columbia Falls and Kalispell. So make sure you come prepared if you're taking the longer hikes, and your time here will be a lot more enjoyable. Our next tip is learning about the hiking trails. In the visitor center, they have tons of different maps, but you can also get maps outside of the park, and that's the best thing. Plan your day accordingly. If you're going to be doing a super long hike and it ends at a certain point where you're going to be picked up by the shuttle, the last shuttle runs at like 6 o'clock every night, sometimes 5. So make sure that you have enough time to get there, but also to get on that shuttle to get picked up, to be brought back to where your car is. Otherwise, it's going to be a really big problem. Now, the best way to do this is, again, to estimate how long it's going to take you based on your own abilities, and then talk to a ranger and plan your day ahead of time so that you can get to those. There are so many hikes, but also if you are relying on that shuttle system, know that it's not going to be consistently at a certain time. So if it is going to be super close to the end of the day, don't start something that could take you a few hours unless you're going to be ending the hike where you're parked. Are you planning on going to the Sun Road? Well, you might want to check your size before you do. The reason why? You cannot go up this road if you are over 21 feet long and 10 feet tall. You just can't make it. So if you are wanting to go on the Going to the Sun Road, you cannot take an RV. you will want to measure your vehicle, and that way you could pass clearance. Because otherwise, if you have a permit and then you can't make it, what's the fun in that? Now, speaking of those permits, that brings me to the next tip for you guys. Every night at 7 o'clock, there is a mad dash to get permits to drive this stretch of road. Now, this stretch of road, if you're driving, you can go as far as the east side. It wraps you back around and you can have a blast doing so. However, if you do not have a permit, you do have to rely on the shuttle system, and in doing so, that means that you're at the mercy of how many stops that you can make in a single day, and based on what part of the park that you're staying in, you may not be able to do all the things. Another tip for you guys is check at the visitor center for the audio tour. There is actually an audio tour that allows you to go through the park and learn a bit more as you go in a unique way that kind of ups the ante if you're taking a tour on your own in a self-guided way. This way you can better understand the places that you are going to. Additionally, they have ranger talks and talks about the Blackfeet people, and so you can learn about the people of the area, the first people that were here, the park itself, the different features and aspects. And if you're here for a while, these are great educational ways for you to kind of figure out a little bit more of the information that there is to be had here. This park is beautiful, yes. However, there's a lot more to offer than just the beauty. The education behind it is second to none, and you could spend literally days just getting to know the background of all of the unique things. So check out either the audio tour or one of those tours or talks. Biggest tip I can give you guys, soak it all in. The views at this park are incredible, whether you're up in the Logan Pass area where it looks like little Switzerland, or you're at the river level, or the rivers here are gorgeous, clear with a slight blue-green cast to them. The mountains around you just kind of surround and make you feel so small. This is one of the most inviting parks to just jump in the water and cool off. Now, my last tip to you guys is if you are coming to the park, check out what season that you're visiting in and what is available to you. During portions of the season, things are closed because of snow. Other portions, they're closed because of bears or migration. Knowing when you're visiting could impact how you enjoy yourself here in Glacier. So getting to know the park uniquely before you come out and learning about all the different features is key. However, also learning how you're going to navigate in a time-efficient way will make your trip here a lot better. Wow, this is incredible. This is so incredible. You can't go wrong with this park. You just can't. Everything I've seen has been just amazing. From the things that made me want to get in them and touch them and feel them and get cooled off by them, to the snow that made me just gasp in joy just to see it, to all the incredible animals I've seen. Yeah, there's no going wrong with this park. I think you can see by now that there's no wrong way to explore this park, but there are some handy tips along the way that can help you. Now, I have been exploring this park for several days, and each day I have discovered something new and different, from the larger than life lakes like Lake McDonald, to the beautiful waterways like I'm standing in front of right now, to the alpine things that just look like they're out of a postcard, and all of the incredible nature and animals along the way. I hope this video is handy to you when preparing for your trip here to adventure and see all of these things. Give yourself some time. You're definitely going to need it. But remember, guys, we're not here for a long time, but we are here for a good time, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye. This place was epic.